Hello, parents and guardians. This is Chris Longo, and I wanted to make a short video in case you were unable to make open house to let you know what's going on this year. My contact information are listed. This year, it's probably easier to email me if you need to talk and just say, "Hey, Mr. Longo, this is the best number to reach me. I'd like to chat when you have a minute." And I'll give you a call at my earliest convenience because I'm actually traveling between both buildings this year. So I will at oftentimes not be at my desk where my phone is. So that would be the best way to reach me. And also, I started out with just a little picture of my daughters. Auburn is just starting fourth grade. Micah is starting second. And they are my world, and I want what's best for them, just like what I want best for your kids, which is why I do what I do, and it's called the Student Pace Classroom. So what I want to do is just kind of tell you about how my classroom operates, and basically I give control to the students. The students make choices that work best for them. So that means they can take notes and complete their work, their practice, wherever and whenever they want to. It could be in class, it could be at home, it could be during study hall, on the bus, in the car, on the way to a road trip, wherever, because all of my lessons are online. They get to choose if they want to work in a group or individually. They actually get to decide when to take quizzes and tests in their groups, not as a class, but like in their groups or individually. So quizzes and tests will be taken on different days depending on when the students want to. Quizzes, for the most part, are taken in groups. Every now and then there will be one that is taken individually because it's an essential topic that is crucial to success moving forward. But for the most part, quizzes are taken in groups. Tests are always taken individually on the day that the group chooses to do it. So within the group, everyone has to take it on the same day that they agree upon, but it could be different from group to group on what day that is. So basically, I'm putting the responsibility in their hands because in the real world, things are a little bit different than a classroom. For example, when you are in the real world and you need help with something, when can you not ask a neighbor or a friend or a professional for some assistance? Which is why I have students take quizzes in groups, so they are practicing that communication with one another and asking for help when they need it. So many students are, learning pre-calc, algebra 2 trig, all sorts of math right now, but they might not use it outside of high school. But things they will use in the rest of high school, college, and the real world are some executive functions, and those things are learning how to take responsibility for their learning, for their successes, and for their failures. Many students have said in the past that, they didn't do well on a quiz or a test because they didn't do their homework. They didn't do their notes for that particular unit, and they take more responsibility and ownership for their success and failures. Time management skills, learning how to be proactive and not fall behind schedule, because students sometimes learn that procrastinating is not really the best approach to being successful in a class or in anything. They learn self-assessment and error analysis by going through their practice problems with their group, making sure that they are ready to take a quiz or a test, and deciding whether or not they're ready to move on a day early or wait an extra day, whatever it may be. They really learn how to work and communicate collaboratively with their peers through quizzes and other things that they do in class, and also how to work through minor distractions. So in a classroom where you have one group taking a quiz, but everybody else is working together or taking a test, and those types of things are going to have noise in the background. And students have reported that after taking this class, it's so much easier for them to focus when there's a little bit of background noise, because otherwise they're used to taking quizzes and tests in silence. And they said this has really helped them to learn how to work through those distractions. And there will also be some music playing in the background just to make it a nice light and relaxing atmosphere. So I've been doing this for multiple years now, and I give surveys at the end of every semester. These are some of the most popular things students have said in terms of how they've felt and tips for success. I also have a list of quotes I'll let you read on your own that are basically the most popular quotes or things written on these surveys. But for feedback, most students have reported they prefer this to the traditional or the traditional flipped classroom. The traditional flipped classroom just means they have to follow a schedule. They don't get to work at their own pace, but the lessons are still online. Student pace, the lessons are all online, but they get to pick and choose when and where they want to do things. They feel more successful because of the flexibility and the collaboration that they get to have. Many of these students are in honors, AP classes, and in sports or have jobs, so the flexibility is something that helps them to work around certain schedules that they have. If they get back home from a game or an event at 9 o'clock at night, and by the time they're ready to study it's 10 p.m., why not just push the test back a day if you need to, or take it a day early if you can. They say it's less stressful for the same reasons, getting to pick a schedule. They feel more prepared for college because they learn how to budget their time, but also I have had reports from a few students recently that have said that some college courses are now offered that way, and they took them because they have experienced this before and they knew how to survive in it, and they said it was wonderful for college to be able to take a class like that. And then, of course, they learn how to communicate and work together in groups, which, of course, is going to happen in many, many paths to come. Tips for success is to find a group that encourages you to work. Don't just work with your best friends that are just going to joke around all day. Do practice problems. Not to fall behind schedule, because when you do, you're going to have to rush to get caught up so you can finish everything by the end of the semester. Take your notes outside of class so you can spend class time practicing with your group. Some students say that they like to take notes during class in case they need to ask a question while it's happening, but time is better spent in class doing the practice because the notes are self-guided. They can do that anywhere. And then some students will say if you get a few days ahead of schedule when things are easy, you can take an extra day when you need it when the material gets harder. So the beginning of the year usually starts out with a lot of reviews, so many students have tried to get a day or two ahead of schedule so they can use that time wisely later. Okay, and then on your own time, there's just a bunch of quotes, most popular comments that have come from students that you can read at your own time. But that's pretty much what we talked about at Open House, and some of the things I want you to know is I believe students always need to learn from their mistakes, so there will be opportunities for them to improve their grades when it comes up. There are going to be extra credit opportunities, but really it's a project where students get to try something new that they've always wanted to try, or set a goal for themselves and do what they can to achieve it. And it's a lot of fun. They just have to make a quick 2 to 3 minute presentation and talk about what it was that they always wanted to do, because I feel that students should never be afraid to try something new or try to accomplish a goal and come up with a plan to accomplish the goal. This career has actually this project has turned into a career for one of my former students. And other things I want them to be able to do is learn how to relax and enjoy weekends. I feel students sometimes are overworked and they sometimes need to take that time to decompress, which is why, at least in my class, I would like them to try to get more work done during the week, so when it comes to the weekend, they do not have any math homework with me, so they can spend time with family and friends and relaxing and letting their brain decompress before they jump back at it the following week. But anyway, that's it for me. This is Longo, and I'm out. See you, bye.